I've been trying to understand the idea between moving from a 3D reality to a 5D reality, and now that I'm kind of vibrationally living in it, I can talk about it. Bear with me while I try to explain this because this video might be a little bit long. The 3D reality is a reality where the Matrix lies in. It's basically the set beliefs and systems that are set in place and has been indoctrinated into you since birth to get you to think a certain way. And that way is that when you are born, you have to start to go to school. When you go to school, you have to get a degree. When you get a degree, you have to get a job, pay off debts, whatever, you know how the system goes. The system does this in a lot of different ways. I'm just going to talk about money, for example. In terms of money, they try to fear you into believing that there is not enough for everyone and that we are not already abundant beings and that you have to work your ass off to make money. But remember, money is being printed. And most countries are already in debt. Who they are in debt to, I don't fucking know. But let me tell you, you can already see that the system is a scam. And they quite literally print money. So the belief is that we have fear around money. That if we quit our jobs, we will never get money. That if we don't have enough, we will never have enough. And we are already subconsciously, whether we think it or not, living in this reality. In order to shift into the 5D reality, you have to break down those systems. You have to start to get away from what I would call the Matrix, which I also call distractions. You have to get away from that enough to listen to your inner self, and that's where it really starts. You start to build a relationship with your inner knowing and what I would call God and the consciousness that you are, because that consciousness has been driving you your entire life, but it has been too silenced for you to actually hear it. So when you have those inner knowings that you can't really describe, that is God. That is that inner consciousness, that is your higher self, that is whatever you want to call it, it's talking to you. And the more that you listen to it, regardless of the distractions and regardless of all that, you start to see life playing out in really mysterious ways. And depending on how much you let it guide your life, it will literally provide for you. Because it knows every step of the way. And this is where we can now tie into the idea of religion. So, for example, Christianity, they talk about the fact that there's a devil. The devil brings Jesus up to a mountain and he says, I can give you whatever you want. He shows Jesus in a very linear, materialistic way that he can have whatever he wants. And that's exactly how the Matrix works. If you do this, you get this. The thing with God, though, you cannot see God. You cannot see him, but you can hear him. And when you hear him, it's the intuition, man. It's listening to yourself because we all have it. When you listen to it, yeah, you may not be able to see the results. You may not be able to physically understand where it's taking you, but just know that it's providing for you. And when you start to trust in that intuition more and more, that's when you can see the beautiful things turning out for you. All of a sudden, your debts are paid off. All of a sudden, money's just coming to you. All of a sudden, you're getting ideas for opportunities. This is how the 5D world works. And the thing is, you can even see it through science because it is all vibrations. It is all quantum field. You are quite literally creating your reality based off the subconscious beliefs. And in the 3D reality, your subconscious beliefs is fear. And you are creating that fear. So in other words, if you're scared that you're going to lose money and you're scared of whatever, then you will lose money. That's how that works. If you're living in the 5D and you trust in the divine and you completely allow it to take over your life, then it will. And it will bring you to the most beautiful places because when you trust in the divine, you're already in your highest space you could possibly be in. And the beautiful part about it is the only way that the Matrix and the 3D system can control you is through fear. That's the only way. And once you are no longer fearing them, then you can start to create the reality that you desire. And trust me, the Matrix wants to keep you in it. So it will do everything in its possible nature to scare you. But just remember, they're scare tactics. You're all right. Trust in God, man. See where it takes you. Build that relationship. And that relationship is that inner knowing that you already have. And just remember that it has never been outside of you. It just may have been silenced for a little too long. But honestly, once you understand this concept, life gets really exciting and it almost feels like you're a kid again.